Join me as today we continue our build of Eagle Moss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1 as I crack open issue number 8. Hey everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And yes, once again, we're back building that 1/8 scale Ecto-1 from Eagle Moss Hero Collector, and we're going to be cracking open issue number 8 today. And before we get into today's build, if you'd like to sign up for your very own subscription, we've got links right down below in the description. Click them, sign up today. Believe me, you're going to have an amazing, amazing time with this build. I'm not a builder by any means, I'm not a craftsman by any means, but I'm finding this entire process relatively easy, relatively calming, and honestly, I'm getting lost in it. I love it. I cannot say anything more positive about this. And to show you how much I'm enjoying it, let's go ahead, let's flip that camera around, and let's go to the build table today as we start off issue number 8. So we've moved over to the build table here, and once again today, we're going to be kicking off issue number 8 of Eagle Moss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1. And today's build, I know we're going to be focusing in, I think, on some pretty large pieces. And yeah, stage 23, 24. 23 is the parts for the Ecto-1's chassis, actually the rear suspension. Okay, so I think we're gonna have like the main bottom portion of the Ecto-1, well, not finished, but we're gonna get a general idea of exactly how long the Ecto-1 is gonna be in today's video. And stage 24 here in the stage, you'll receive the more parts for the chassis and the engine cooling system. So let's go ahead, tear into here. Yeah, rear chassis and fender liners we're going to start with. So let me go ahead and grab stage 23. Okay, so we got the pieces unbagged. Here we got a bunch of screws they gave us, but obviously the most eye-catching piece is this one right here. It's huge, it's made of metal, it's got some weight to it, and this is going to be the rear chassis of the Ecto-1. So once again, I think, yeah, we're going to be adding this to the Ecto-1 in this stage, so I'm pretty excited because once again, this is going to be pretty much mapping out the actual length of the Ecto. So let's go ahead and see what our first step is going to be here. Let's move the rear. So we're going to be fitting the shock absorbers to the bracket. Here we've got the bracket, and let's go ahead and nab those shock absorbers. So we've got those in place there. There's a couple little circles that are just going to intersect, and we're going to be securing those in place using 2 AP screws. So let me go ahead and nab these AP screws here, and let's start the building. Okay, and with that, we got the shock absorbers in place there now. I'm not really too sure exactly how slanted I'm supposed to have these. I can always go back and once again just kind of untighten the screw and redo those, so it's not really a big deal. But yeah, the shock absorbers are in place there on the bracket. Now going into part 2 here, we're going to be attaching the shock absorber to the bracket. So that's going to give us a pretty good idea of exactly how high or low these should be. So let me go ahead and turn this the right way. Once again, I want to match up and make sure I've got everything correct here. And then from there, it looks like we're going to be just, there's a couple little holes and pegs. Just kind of nicely fits into there. And we're going to be turning this around and securing it in place using a couple of JP screws. I'm actually going to go ahead and just kind of gently push the absorbers down because I'm pretty sure I got them way too high there. So let me go ahead and turn this around and secure once again it in place using those JP screws. Okay, so we got both screws in place there. Let's go ahead and flip this around. Move those shock absorbers a little higher. And yeah, we're looking pretty good. It looks pretty close to what the actual magazine here has it looking like. Now from there, it looks like we're once again going to be turning this over. So we're going to part 3 here, fitting the fender liners. Let's go ahead and grab some of these liners here. It looks like both are identical, so it doesn't matter which one I use. And it looks like for that, we're just going to fit the liner right on the side here. It should just kind of secure in. There we go, that's a good noise. And we're going to be attaching those in there using 3 DM screws. Okay, so I got the 3 screws in place there, 1, 2, 3, and then from there we're going to move on to figure B here, which we're going to be doing the exact same thing. We're going to be attaching the fender liners to the other side. Okay, so I got 3 more screws in place. So we've got both the left and right hand fender liners all secure there on the tail end of the Ecto-1's chassis. So from there, it looks like our next step, we're gonna be moving on to number 4 here, which is gonna be fixing the rear chassis. So we're going to be attaching it to the, to what we've built already. So let's go ahead and bring that in. Alright, so we got the back end here, and it looks like we're just going to be kind of matching this up here with the screws, and we're going to be attaching them using, what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LM screws to secure everything in place. Okay, so as I'm putting the first screw in here, let me just say, this is the main like underbody, and I'm seeing it right now. Like I'm seeing the front end, I'm seeing the back end. This is the very first time I've actually had like, I don't want to say the full Ecto-1 because it certainly isn't the full Ecto-1, but a general idea of exactly how long this thing is going to be. And I know I've said it's massive, but I mean this thing is gigantic. Give me a second, I'm going to put all 6 screws in here, and I'm going to give you a full body shot of exactly how large this Ecto-1 is going to be. Okay, so 6th and final screw is in place there. Now let's go ahead and get a full shot of this Ecto-1. I mean, just look at the size of it. Once again, this is 1/8 scale, and I'm not too sure the overall size, if it's coming through on camera right now. So let me actually throw in one of the Hasbro like Kenner Classic figures to give you guys a bit of an idea, better understanding of just how big this Ecto-1 is. This is honestly going to be the centerpiece of my collection when it is totally complete. This is insane. I mean, if you're on the fence of building this thing, I'm hoping that these shots, these images right now, they sell you on it, because you do not want to sleep on this Ecto-1, this 1/8 scale Ecto-1 from Eaglemoss Hero Collector. I'm amazed by it. Like I said, this is going to be like the centerpiece of my collection. And the fact that I'm going to build this from the first step to the last step, this thing is honestly going to mean so much to me when completed. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back to the build here. It looks like for our next step, right here, figure B, we're going to be flipping the Ecto-1 around, and then from there we're going to be attaching, what do you hear, the rear chassis frame we've already put together in a previous build video. Okay, so we got the Ecto turned around here. Let's go ahead and attach this. Oh man, this is so flippin' cool. Man, this is cool. And it looks like now that this is in place, we're going to then secure a bunch of CM screws, a ton of CM screws, in on the other side to make sure this this holds. Alright, so important safety tip here. When putting on the actual main backlight chassis frame here, be sure that when you have your shock absorbers that you fit them up, and then when you lay it down, you fit them back down again. I was trying to put this over top because, you know, I'm an idiot, and yeah, it won't fit. Luckily, I reread the manual here, realized what I was doing wrong, and yeah, now I've got this appropriately set up. So let me go ahead, give me a few moments here, and I'm going to secure it using all of those CM screws. Okay, and with that, we have got ourselves 10 CM screws in place, securing the rear chassis to the Ecto-1 here. So once again, the actual main like lower body of this thing, we're pretty much done. I mean, obviously we still have to, you know, add a few more things underneath it. We've got to obviously add the pack wheels and such like that. But like I've said countless times, this gives us a really good idea of exactly how large this Ecto-1 is going to be when completely finished. Now moving on to stage 24. So once again, we've got the front fender liners, we've got the radiator over here, nice detail on the radiator. Alright, so we've already got our first piece here, which is going to be the front left fender liner here. We've already brought in the Ecto-1, so let's go ahead, and it looks like this is just going to fit nicely into place. Very, very good. And we're going to be securing this into place here. It looks like on the front end using a couple DM screws, and on the back end a couple of NM screws. Oh, actually I stand corrected. The back end is going to be both a combination of NM screws and CM screws. So let me undo those. Okay, so we got that in place there, all 4 screws, and that is looking good. From there, I assume the most logical thing is, yeah, we're going to repeat the exact same process on the other side. So let me go ahead and do that. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. The other fender liner there, the right fender liner, actually has like a little dent in it. So, you know, that's just kind of a cool little touch of detail. Okay, so we got that 4th screw in place there. So right now, yeah, we've got the left and front fender liners on the Ecto. Once again, I gotta mention, I love that little bit of detail there of that little dent. So cool. So it looks like from there, we're gonna be moving on to stage number 3 here, which is gonna be assembling the radiator. So let's go ahead and grab those pieces. So it looks like the first thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be assembling the radiator tank to the top here of the actual radiator front portion here. So I'm assuming, oh yeah, there we go, everything just kind of lines up nicely, and we're going to be securing those 2 pieces in place using a couple of DP screws. Okay, so we've got the radiator tank in place there, and then after that we've got to go on to figure B, which is going to require, what do we got here? This is 24F, the radiator rear. So we're going to be attaching all this, looks like, right together. So let's go ahead and snap that on top, and securing that in place using 6 HP screws here. Okay, so I got the 6 HP screw going into place there, so the radiator is looking good, nice and secure. From there, we're going to be adding the filler cap, which is this little kind of silver piece here. It looks like that actually just kind of snaps right onto the top. There we go. Yeah, so filler cap in place there. And then the last bit is there's going to be a wire that's going to actually attach to the top of that filler cap. So as always, we're going to use our tweezers here to kind of stretch that wire out just a little bit so it goes on a little easier there. And actually, you might as well use the tweezers to kind of attach it to that filler cap. Okay, so the wire is in place there, once again attached to the filler cap. And yeah, that pretty much brings this episode to a close with us finishing stage 23 and 24. So be sure to check back next time as we continue issue number 8. Actually, we're going to finish off issue number 8 with stage 25 and 26. And that does it for today's build, guys. As always, if you'd like to sign up to Eaglemoss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1 build, we've got links right down below in the description. Click them right now, sign up, and you're going to have pieces of the Ecto-1 delivered right to your door. How awesome is that? As always, if you'd like to stay up to date with all the Ghostbusters happenings and these build videos, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube and bust that little bell notification icon. And if you'd like to help support Ghostbusters News, we do have a Patreon page. Link to that can be found right down below in the description. And I will see everybody right back here next time. Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube.